The sun rose over Darwin in northern Australia, painting the sky in orange and pink. Birds chirped, and people stirred in their homes. It was a normal morning. But by the time the town clock struck 7, everything changed. Jared Williams woke to the usual hum of his alarm. He rubbed his eyes, stretched, and rolled out of bed. He went to the window and looked outside. But instead of the busy street he expected to see, he saw emptiness. No cars, no people, no footprints in the grass. Just gray dust and silent buildings. His heart began to race. He jumped on his phone to check the news, but there were no alerts. No warnings, no explanation. Every news channel showed blank screens or static. The normally chatty weather anchor stared at the camera in black and white silence. Jared hurried out of his apartment. He saw the whole street was empty. Shops were open, but lifeless. A loaf of bread sat on a table in a cafe, as though someone walked away in a hurry. A glass of juice on a counter had begun to dry. He took a deep breath and whispered to himself, "What happened?" A strange discovery far away in a secure communications bunker. Major Claudia Reyes blinked at her monitor. She was the head of signal analysis at the Australian Defence Headquarters. The system had logged an odd transmission. A burst of data, distorted but unmistakably not from Earth. She tapped a few keys. The system replayed the signal in a loop. It sounded like humming, but it had an order to it. Like language. Claudia frowned. She ran the sound through filters to clean noise. There were repeating patterns in the signal, repeating numbers and tones. She had heard nothing like it before. At the same moment, a lieutenant rushed in. "Ma'am, we have reports from Darwin. The city is gone. No people, no buildings. It's like erased." Claudia's eyes widened. She replayed the signal again. The timestamp of the transmission was just minutes before the city disappeared. She whispered, "It's them." Panic and chaos word spread fast. In Sydney, Melbourne, and other cities, panic began. People locked doors. They stared at the skies. They tried to call Darwin, but no one answered. Some said they saw strange lights over the city at night. Others said there were loud hums just before sunrise. Governments scrambled. Army units were sent to the edge of Darwin. But the military found nothing. No rubble, no people, no bodies. Only clean, empty streets and floating dust motes. When Earth satellites passed overhead, their cameras saw only gray surfaces. Like someone took a giant eraser and wiped the city from the face of the Earth. Humanity watched in horror. On the big screen in the UN Emergency Council, diplomats glared at each other. One said, "This is an act of war." Another said, "We have no proof who did this. We only have a safe zone in outer space." A third said, "We apologize to Darwinites or whatever those people are on behalf of Earth." But no one knew what to do. Enter the rogue analyst. Meanwhile, Jared raced back to his apartment. He worked from home, analyzing signals for a private communications firm. He logged into his workstation and opened a folder he had hidden. He named it Pluto Probe. 14 years ago, he and a colleague found a strange data dump from an old space probe. That probe was lost beyond Pluto in 2030. Most people forgot about it. He opened the files. There was a distorted image of a large structure, almost like a ring. He smiled, feeling proud of the find. It was proof we were not alone. He analyzed the image for weeks but got no response. Now he wondered if it meant something else. He played a recording of a simulated ping from deep space. It matched the same repeating tones now heard by Major Reyes. He ran a filter overlay to compare. The tones echoed each other. Jared's eyes widened. He realized the timing. Darwin vanished just after the ping. He began grabbing screenshots and compiling proof. He knew no one would believe him. Governments would hide it. Newspapers would be censored or shut down. But if he leaked it, he might go to jail. Or worse. He hesitated for only a second. Then he opened a public live stream and broadcast the image, the sound, and his conclusion. Aliens erased Darwin. And they are talking back. The leak and the response, the stream went viral within minutes. News outlets picked it up, replayed his broadcast, and asked for confirmation. Jared was flooded with messages. Is this real? Government cover-up? Where is he? Arrest him. Aliens, please. Jared shut off his camera and grabbed his coat. He ran out the door. He needed safety and someone to listen. Within hours, armored vehicles arrived at his apartment block. Soldiers in black uniforms bailed out. They had orders to detain Jared and confiscate his equipment, but he slipped away. He had left his equipment active, transmitting to a server in Iceland. He trusted it would stay live. He ducked into an alley and slipped onto a passing train. He had no plan. Only one goal: reach Antarctica. The hidden signal in Antarctica. Deep under the ice, scientists at a research station discovered something else: a buried signal. They thought it was a malfunctioning sensor at first, but the signal matched the alien tones. Dr. Mei Zhang, a signal analyst and former satellite engineer, brought the recordings to the station commander. She said, "The pattern is identical to the Darwin ping. It must have come from the same source." The commander frowned. "This is major, but what do we do?" May replied, "We stay quiet, and we wait for more." A secret task force forms back in Australia. Major Claudia Reyes received reports. A civilian leaked the signal proof. The UN and the military had patched together the leak orphan set of audio and Pluto image. She told her superiors, "He is right." City vanished. Someone or something did it. They formed a covert task force: scientists, military, communication experts. And they needed one civilian expert, Jared, but he was missing. Claudia set up a remote contact via encrypted channels. A message flashed in a secure chat: "Jared Williams, if you are out there, we need you. We can stop more vanishings." She hit send. The public is on edge in cities around the world. People watch the news. They stayed indoors. They checked their phones for updates. Some insisted it was a government cover-up or a hoax. Others believed in alien involvement. Street protests began. Military checkpoints were set near major cities. Schools delayed classes. Factories halted production. The rumor mill spun faster. City memory wiped clean. No one alive to testify. Models predict 15 more vanishings in the next 72 hours. Satellite pictures show heat signature over Pluto region. No one claimed responsibility. But everyone was afraid. Jared's journey south. Jared pressed through dust and silence on the empty streets of Darwin at first. But after his leak, the dust grew quiet. He crossed empty highways. He slept in abandoned rest stops. He boarded shipment trains heading south. He hopped off in a hidden rural town near Adelaide. From there, he found passage on a medical flight heading to Antarctica. The flight was small, and official governments kept the station quiet. He entered under a fake name. He had no gear, no backup, only hope. Meeting at the station on the ice runway, Dr. Mei Zhang waited in a parka coat. She saw Jared step from the plane. His face was drawn with exhaustion, but his eyes burned with a quiet fire. She greeted him with a nod. "Jared Williams?" He looked at her. I got your message." She pointed toward a small operations hut. Inside were screens showing waveforms, the alien signal ping, the deep space signal, and other weird bursts. Claudia Reyes arrived by a satellite link on a video screen. She was calm and determined. "Jared," she said, "thank you for coming. We believe Antarctica is the next vanish zone. Your deep space link may lead us to the source." Jared looked at the signals. He tapped on the screen. That was the same recording I leaked. I sent it, but we never saw this." Claudia nodded. The signal came from deep under the ice. It began 3 days ago. Then Darwin vanished. We don't know if the signal caused it or if it was a response. Jared swallowed. So they erased Darwin to get our attention. Claudia replied. Exactly, and I'm guessing Antarctica may be next. Tension rises outside the station windows. The frozen wind howled. The temperature was -50°C. Inside, the tension was hot. May watched Jared's face closely. She said, "We've detected the signal coming from 200 kilometers south, but the ice is thick 2 kilometers deep. You may have to go in person." Jared looked at Claudia. I'm the only one who heard the ping. I'm the only one who knows how to interpret it. Claudia stood. Then you're coming with us. We leave at 0200 hours. Be ready. Jared swallowed. What if they erase this place? Or me, Claudia's. Eyes didn't flinch. Then the world will know what hit you. Night before departure, Jared couldn't sleep. He stared at the hut's small autopilot controls. He thought of Darwin, his apartment, shattered dreams of alien contact, and the missing people. He thought of the signal buried in ice. He thought of waking up one morning to emptiness. He whispered to the empty room, "I won't let it happen." Again, he packed the small bag offered to him, temperature suit, signal recorder, and a few protein bars. Beep of the station clock told him the time, 0115 hours. In 30 minutes, he would board a snow vehicle called the Polar Runner, with Claudia, May, and 2 soldiers. He closed his eyes. He pictured his apartment and prayed no one else vanished. Final hook at exactly 0200 hours. The beacon on the Polar Runner's dashboard blinked. They launched across the ice plain under giant floodlights. The wind whipped around the vehicle. The ground trembled. Inside the cabin, Jared tapped the recorder. The screen lit up with patterns. Another burst of the signal pulsed through the wires. His breath caught. And then Claudia gasped, "Look on the screen." "We're in range." Outside, the ice cracked. The signal buzzed louder. Something stirred below. And for the first time the world of the living learned how fragile it truly was. Snow blew hard against the windows of the Polar Runner. The wind howled like wolves. Jared sat quietly, watching the monitor in front of him. The signal had changed. The tones were faster now, more rhythmic. Not like a warning, but like a reply. Major Claudia Reyes sat beside him, helmet resting. On her lap, she had been tracking these signals for weeks. But now she saw something different. A strange pulse in the pattern, almost like a heartbeat. Dr. Mei Jiang sat in the back, her eyes on a tablet. She whispered, "The signal isn't just repeating. It's growing, responding." "Responding to what?" Claudia asked. Mei hesitated. "To us." Approaching the source, the snow crawler rumbled across a white desert. The team was heading toward a black dot on the satellite map. 2 kilometers beneath that point, the Earth's sensors had detected strange heat and magnetic activity. Jared tapped the screen again. The ping was louder here. He connected a headset and filtered the noise. A voice distorted and slow whispered something he couldn't understand. But the message repeated every 15 seconds. He recorded it. He didn't tell the others yet. They reached the coordinates. The machine stopped with a hiss of steam. The team stepped out. Wind slapped their faces. Even under thick suits. At their feet was a circle of ground warmer than the rest. Bare ice, no snow cover. May bent down and placed a sensor stick. "There's something hollow underneath," she said. Claudia nodded. "We're going in." Descent. A small portable drill dug through the ice. After an hour, it opened a shaft just wide enough for one person to slide through. Lights were dropped down the hole. At 50 meters, the tunnel opened into a chamber. May gasped at the camera feed. "That's not natural." The chamber was smooth, carved into the ice with precision. Symbols glowed faintly on the walls. The team sent a probe down first. It hovered in the air, floating without touching the ground. Claudia narrowed her eyes. "No gravity?" "No," Something's controlling space in there, May said. Jared volunteered to go first. They strapped a cable to his suit. He slid down the tube and floated into the chamber. He saw the walls covered in glowing glyphs. Circles, lines, symbols he'd never seen before. He held up his scanner. It pinned fast. His recorder buzzed. The alien signal responded again, this time clearly. STOP. Your reach. More will be taken. Back on the surface, Claudia helped pull Jared back up. He was breathing hard. They sent a new message, he said. They told us to stop, or more cities will be taken. Claudia cursed under her breath. May looked shaken. We're not alone. And they don't want us digging. Claudia turned to the team. Seal the site. Get this info to headquarters. We need to go black. UN emergency broadcast the next morning. Earth changed again. Every screen in every country flashed a message. Not from governments. From them. The alien message played in hundreds of languages. Calm. Robotic. This world is under observation. You were warned 70 years ago. You have reached too far. You will stop or disappear. Then the screen went. Black dot in every major city. Power flickered. Phones died. Military radars went blind for 30 minutes. No planes flew. No ships moved. When the systems came back online, one small coastal town in Japan, Shimo, was gone. Another city. Erased. The hidden history back at the Antarctic station. Claudia slammed her fists on the table. They're not just visiting. They've been here for decades. May pulled up a file from 1965. There's a log from an American research base. It recorded the same signal, in this exact location. Jared leaned in. They knew? May nodded. I think the government found alien tech back then. But they buried it. Claudia added, in 1981, a satellite took a photo of something orbiting Pluto. It was dismissed as space dust, but it matches the object from your probe image. Jared's face went cold. They've been watching us, waiting for a reason. And now we've given them one, Claudia said. Rebellion or surrender in the UN Council. Countries argued. America wanted to launch a deep space strike. China proposed surrendering and sending a peace message. Russia denied everything and left the council. A vote was taken. Humanity would not respond with weapons yet. But secret programs would restart. Project Eclipse in the US, Project Mirablack in Russia, Project Cold Dawn in Europe. These were dormant military programs, using reverse-engineered alien tech. The world prepared for war. Jared and Claudia were ordered to return to the defense base, but May stayed behind. She had other plans. A rebel scientist, May, sent encrypted messages from Antarctica to a private lab in Canada. She had discovered a pattern in the alien messages. Not a threat, but a code. They're not just warning us. She told her contact. They're following a rule. They only strike if we cross a line. Her partner asked, what line? She paused. When we reach their boundary. What boundary? May looked at the maps. A set of stars around Pluto, aligned with old probe missions. She drew lines connecting erased cities and satellite paths. They've drawn a circle around Earth, she said. A cage. We're not allowed to leave. Claudia's warning back at HQ. Claudia was in a meeting with military leaders. Jared sat beside her, exhausted. A general barked, we should respond with full force. They attack us, we strike back. Claudia raised a hand. No, not yet. We barely understand them. Every action causes another city to vanish. We can't risk it. Jared showed them the recordings. Each signal warns us. Each strike comes after a major discovery. He pulled up satellite records. Darwin disappeared after we opened a deep space relay. Shima vanished after we powered up a new telescope. They're reacting to our tech, Claudia said, not our people. The room went silent. A shocking return the next day. Something impossible happened. A pilot flying near the south Pole saw lights in the sky. Strange, slow-moving beams. They seemed to paint the air. The pilot filmed it. When the video was enhanced, the team saw a ghost image, a blurry outline of Darwin. Not destroyed, not burned. Moved. Jared stared at the video. They didn't erase it, they took it. He zoomed into the cloud around the shape. There was no fire, no energy blast. Just silence. May's voice came over the coms. They're collecting cities, not killing people. The true message. Jared returned to the recording from the tunnel. He slowed it down and filtered noise. The message, once distorted, became clearer. This is not your domain. You expand too fast. Your memories are not yours. We protect the silence. Stay still or be moved. Jared's blood went cold. Memories? Silence. Claudia leaned in. They don't want us to discover something. May added, or they're hiding something. A rogue signal suddenly, a new signal appeared. Stronger than before. From deep space. It wasn't from them. Jared played it. A woman's voice, human, came through static. If anyone hears this, my name is Dr. Eliza Vaughn. I was in Darwin. We're alive. The city is somewhere. We're not on Earth. The stars. They're different. The signal cut. Hook ending. Everyone stared at the screen. Claudia whispered, "They're not killing us." Jared added, "They're moving us." May said, "Which means they have a way to transport matter instantly." Claudia stood, eyes cold with realization. If we find their device, we can bring everyone back. Jared looked out the window into the snowy darkness. He whispered, "Then we're going to war." Stars twinkled beyond the spacecraft window like cold, silent watchers. The ship Odyssey 9 moved past Neptune's orbit, deeper into the void than any human had ever gone before. Inside the ship, Commander Jared Haley stood beside the navigation console, eyes locked on a blinking red dot on the screen. That dot wasn't a star. It wasn't a planet. It was something else. Something waiting. Mission background. After Dr. Eliza Vaughn's message was received, claiming she was alive in another part of space, the world united. For the first time, all nations agreed on one thing: find the source. Find the missing cities. May had decoded a signal that pointed toward a fixed position beyond Neptune. There, an object had been orbiting unnoticed for decades. Covered in shadows, silent. UNMOVING. They called it the Echo Point. Odyssey 9 was sent to investigate. Its crew, Commander Jared Halley, engineer; Remy Solis, biologist; Dr. Kim So-jin, signal analyst; LT Theo Grant, pilot; Naomi Velasquez. Their mission: discover what the object was and survive. The approach, we're within 50,000 kilometers, Naomi said. Object dead center. Still no movement? Jared asked. Nope, it's just there like a statue. Theo looked nervous. We've never seen tech like this. It's not broadcasting, not turning, not even reflecting light. That's not normal. As they got closer, the object slowly came into view. It wasn't a ship. It was a structure like a floating city. Spikes of metal, glowing orbs, a central ring almost 10 kilometers wide. It rotated slowly, humming like a giant heartbeat. Jared whispered, "Is that their starbase?" Unspoken question. So-jin looked through the scope. This place isn't just a base, it's alive. Alive? Rime scoffed. I mean, it's organic. Parts of it are growing. Look. She zoomed in on a wall that rippled, like skin underwater. That's not metal. Theo added, there's no entrance. No windows. But our radar shows empty space inside, huge rooms. Jared gave the order. We're sending the drone. Inside the Starbase, probe flew toward the structure, cameras on. Everyone watched the live feed. At first, nothing happened. Then, a small slit opened. The drone slipped in. The walls sealed behind it. Inside was silence. Black walls stretched out in every direction. Floating orbs lit the way. Symbols appeared on the screen, glowing, shifting. Then a hallway formed ahead, like the walls were listening. Theo whispered, "It's reading the drone." The drone followed the path. It passed by strange chambers filled with floating stones, empty chairs, and walls of blinking lights. Then, a room full of cities. The hall of the taken. Jared gasped. The camera showed cities' miniature versions held inside transparent bubbles. They floated like snow globes. But these weren't models. They were real cities, shrunk or copied. Jin sighed. "That's Darwin. That's Shima." Theo leaned closer. "They didn't destroy them. They're storing them, studying them, or protecting them," Naomi added. Then a new signal came in. From inside the base. The drone had triggered something. The screen flashed white, then showed a face. The face in the light. A woman appeared, dressed in gray robes. Her face was not human, long and narrow, skin like polished stone, eyes like stars. But when she spoke, her voice was Eliza Vaughn's. "I am Interface. I speak with your voice. You entered our preserve." Jared leaned forward. "Where are the people? The real cities?" The being replied, "Alive, suspended, not harmed, removed for protection." "You expanded beyond limits," Sojin asked. "Limits? Who decided the limits?" Interface replied, "The ecosystem. We were placed to watch, to stop contamination. You are not the first. Others before you reach too far. They are gone." The truth of the ecosystem. The Interface walked through the virtual space. Behind her, shapes formed, images of other worlds, ruins, broken planets, starships torn apart. In every corner of this galaxy, life rises fast. Then it reaches for what it should not understand. "We are the wall. We hold the silence. You broke the silence." Theo's voice cracked. "What silence?" "The silence between worlds. We do not destroy, we remove. Until the danger has passed." Jared asked, "Can we bring the cities back?" There was a pause. "One chance. Show you understand. Show you can change." An impossible task. Interface gave them a challenge. Solve the code that holds the cities. Unlock it, but without using aggressive tech. She sent them a datasphere, an alien puzzle. They had 12 Earth hours to solve it. If they failed, the cities would remain suspended forever. Race against time. Back on the ship, Raimai scanned the sphere. It's pure quantum code. A logic puzzle built in 3 dimensions, shifting rules. So Jin worked on the biological layers. Each shape responded to emotional data. The puzzle reacted to BRAINWAVs. Theo decoded the signals inside. It's like a test, not of strength, but of trust. It knows if we cheat. Jared coordinated the efforts. Time ticked down. The pressure grew. Naomi stared at the shrinking timer. One mistake, and millions would stay lost. Breakthrough. With 1 hour left, Sojin discovered something. "The code responds to kindness," she said. "It favors peaceful intent. Watch." She placed her hand on the sphere, thinking of her family. The shapes turned green. Raimai tried thinking of anger. Red. Jared understood. "It's a moral lock." He ordered everyone to meditate, to clear their minds, to focus on hope. One by one, the layers of the sphere unlocked. Then, the core opened. The cities return. A pulse of light shot from the drone inside the Starbase. The Interface smiled. "You pass." From space, the crew watched in awe. In orbit over Earth, balls of white light appeared. 12 of them. Each descended gently and unfolded. Darwin, Shima, Boston, Reykjavik, Lagos. All returned. People stepped out, unharmed, confused but alive. Jared whispered, "We did it." So Jin smiled through tears. "We brought them home." But not the end. As the cities returned, Interface gave one final message. You have been warned once. There will not be a second warning. The ecosystem watches. Stay within your place, or be silenced forever." Then the Starbase vanished, folding into space, like a page turned in a book. Dark clouds rolled over the skyline of Reykjavik, Iceland. The city had returned from space just 48 hours ago, but something was wrong. Fires burned underground. The air smelled like melted metal and ash. And the people were not the same. The first sign, at 2:13 a.m., a team of scientists entered Reykjavik's outer zone. They wore suits and scanners. The city looked normal from above, but inside, the streets were silent. Too silent. Dr. Lena Park, a medical officer, stopped near a small cafe. The tables were set. Food still sat on plates, frozen in time, but no people. Then her radio crackled. A voice whispered, "They're still here, just not awake." Lena turned around. No one was behind her. Shadow on the walls. Commander Jared Halle, now a worldwide symbol of hope, was called to Reykjavik. So was Sojin and Theo. May joined via satellite. When Jared's team arrived, their sensors picked up heat inside the city, but not human heat. It pulsed under the buildings, like a heartbeat. Theo stared at his screen. This city came back different. Lena showed Jared a wall covered in soot. A handprint had burned itself into the stone, but the fingers were too long, almost clawed. Jared touched the mark. It was warm. Sojin frowned. Something came back with the city. The survivor that night, a woman, walked out of the fog. Her name was Sarah Toke, a schoolteacher from Reykjavik. She was barefoot, dressed in ash-covered clothes. She walked straight up to Jared, eyes glowing. "Faintly orange," she said. "They are watching from the smoke. And they are hungry." Then she collapsed. Dreams of the fire room. Sarah was taken to a quarantine lab. She didn't wake for 2 days. When she did, she spoke in short bursts, half in Icelandic, half in something else. May joined the call and asked gently, "What did you see?" Sarah replied, "A room, made of flame, burning, but no heat." The others, they walked in and forgot themselves. Theo leaned closer. "What do you mean?" Sarah looked up. Her eyes changed again, briefly flashing red. They weren't erased. They were rewritten. Memory fracture. Sojin scanned Sarah's brain. What she found terrified her. Her memory isn't just damaged. It's been overwritten in layers like data on a hard drive. Human memories buried under foreign ones. Jared asked, "Whose memories?" Sarah answered herself, "Not whose. What's? They don't think like us." She began drawing symbols on the wall. The same ones found inside the Starbase. Lena pointed at the drawing. "Those aren't warning symbols. They're instructions." The burning house that evening, Reykjavik lit up again, literally. A building downtown burst into flames. Fire trucks arrived, but the fire didn't spread it floated. Witnesses said they saw shapes inside the flames. Not human. Tall, with no faces. Jared's team arrived 10 minutes later. The fire was gone. No damage, but the walls glowed faintly, like they were remembering heat. And in the center of the room, words burned into the floor. "We left a piece behind." May's discovery. Back at the lab, May ran a test on all the returned cities. Only Reykjavik had it changed. Energy signature. She overlaid the city's old energy map with the new one. "There's an extra layer here," she said. Something was added, like a second ghost town on top of the first. Theo added, or a digital shadow. A copy of something alien, using the city as its frame. So Jin whispered, "They didn't just give us the city back. They planted something inside it." The Ember Protocol, a hidden government project, once canceled, was reactivated. Project Ember. Its purpose? To detect and eliminate alien code hidden in Earth systems. Jared was briefed. The agent in charge, General Mara Trent, didn't waste time. "This isn't just a virus," she said. "It's a seed. And if it grows, Reykjavik might not be the only city affected, Jared disagreed. We need to understand it, not destroy it. Mara's reply was cold. If it spreads, we'll lose more than one city. We'll lose Earth, the Fire Child. Then, a child appeared in the heart of Reykjavik. A boy about 7 years old walked out of a sealed museum. No one knew him. He wasn't on any missing list. His DNA wasn't fully human. His eyes burned orange. His voice sounded like many voices at once. He said, "The memory has a form now." "It will grow." Jared knelt. "What are you?" The boy smiled. "I am the lesson." Then he vanished. The council meets again. The UN Emergency Council gathered. Countries argued. Again. Destroy Reykjavik. Seal it off. Study it. Use it. May spoke to the council remotely. "This may be a gift or a test. But if we destroy it before we understand it, we might trigger something worse." General Trent warned, "If it spreads to another city, we'll have no choice." Jared ended the meeting with one sentence: "Whatever this is, it's not over." The final message that night, Theo stayed behind in the lab. He replayed all the audio from Reykjavik. At exactly 3:03 a.m., his computer crashed. Then a new signal appeared. When no one had sent, he hit record. A voice, Sarah's but deeper, spoke. "You opened the door. Fire remembers fire. One city returned with a spark, and sparks always become flame." Theo froze. Then the words repeated, but backward. He reversed the clip. The message changed. The Starbase was not ours. We are not the ecosystem. We are what came before them. And now we are free. Hook ending. Back in Reykjavik, underground heat sensors lit up. A new shape formed beneath the city. A perfect circle. 900 meters wide. It wasn't there before. It pulsed once red. Then the lights in the city went dark. The screen faded to black. The world thought the ecosystem was the first alien force humanity had ever met. They were wrong, because deep under Reykjavik, inside the burning circle, something older had woken up. Something the echo tried to hide, not erase, not destroy, but bury. And now it wanted out. The new signal. Jared, Halle, and Theo watched the live satellite feed from Reykjavik. The underground circle glowed red and orange, pulsing like a heartbeat. Theo said, "It's a gateway. Or a lock. Whatever's under it. Was sealed in, not kept out." Jared stared in silence. The cities weren't taken by the echo just to test us. They were hiding us from something else. The question no one wanted to ask now felt louder than ever. What else is out there? The Reykjavik lockdown. UN forces sealed the city. Military teams, scientists, and drones were sent in. Only one team was allowed underground. Jared's. With him were Dr. So-Jin, bioscience; Theo Grant, signal analyst; General Mara Trent, military lead; and the child, the Fire Child, who had reappeared without warning. The child said only one thing before entering the tunnels: "They're not coming. They're already here." The descent. The underground tunnels were hot. Steam hissed from walls. Lights flickered. The circle was at the very bottom, etched into black stone, humming like a machine in pain. Suddenly, So-Jin touched the stone. Her eyes rolled back. She saw memories. Not hers. Planets burning. Alien species screaming. A voice whispering through flame. "We were gods once. Then they caged us." Two histories. The Fire Child sat on a rock, smiling softly. "They called us monsters," he said. "But we were teachers." General Trent aimed her weapon at him. "What are you really?" He answered calmly. "We are what came before. The first builders, the first destroyers. The Echo feared what we taught, so they wiped us out. But they forgot something. Fire cannot be erased, only delayed." Theo looked pale. "So we're in the middle of a war between alien civilizations?" The child nodded. "And the ones who erased your cities? were not your enemies, they were your protectors. The vault opens, the circle began to split. The ground cracked open, revealing a stairwell made of glowing bones. Below it, a chamber lit up filled with symbols from Earth's ancient past, Sumerian, Egyptian, Mayan, all mixed with alien code. So Jin said, "It's like they visited Earth thousands of years ago and left pieces behind." Jared added, "Or maybe Boo were one of their colonies." The memory sphere in the center of the chamber, a sphere floated. It spun slowly. Inside it, a burning world. When Theo touched it, he saw a vision. A planet, full of fire giants, ruled the stars. They believed in power through destruction. They gave knowledge to weaker races and watched them fall. They were not evil. Just curious. Then the echo came. They were not warriors. They were guardians of order. They saw the fire race as a threat and removed them, piece by piece, from the galaxy. But one piece was left behind. Earth. Back on the surface, above ground, strange things began happening. People in Reykjavik started hearing whispers. Phones showed fire symbols that weren't apps. Children drew stars with broken circles. Some people even spoke languages they had never learned. The fire was spreading, not with flame, but with memory. The warning Jared and team brought the memory sphere back to orbit. May analyzed the data from space. She said, "This isn't just a memory, it's an invitation, or maybe a map." Jared frowned. "A map to what?" May answered. "To other fire vaults." This wasn't the only one. "There are more." Suddenly, the ship's system picked up a transmission. Not from Earth, not from the echo, but from something deeper. A voice whispered, "Your kind learns fast. But not fast enough. Open the next door, or we will." The division begins. The world split into two sides. Side A, protect the vaults. Learn from them. Understand this ancient species. Side B, destroy them all. Never risk awakening the fire again. General Trent pushed for immediate lockdown of all suspected vault sites. Jared disagreed. "If we destroy them before we know what's inside, we'll repeat the Echo's mistake. We'll bury truth and invite chaos." A secret vote happened. Result: access granted to one more vault, but only Jared's team could enter. The second vault. It was found under the Sahara Desert, buried beneath ancient ruins. When the door opened, wind screamed from within. The same circle shape, the same fire glyphs. But this time, something was waiting inside. A tall, thin being, covered in black ash. Not alive. Not dead. It opened its eyes when Jared entered. Then it spoke. "You returned, as they said you would." So Jin stepped forward. "Who are you?" "I am memory. I am the flame that did not forget. You are our children. And now you must choose." The choice. The team was shown a vision. Two paths. Unlock all the fire vaults, gain forbidden knowledge that could end war, disease and death, but risk awakening the old war again. Seal the vaults. Forget them. Let humanity grow slow, safe and blind. Theo asked, "Why us? Why Earth?" The being smiled. "Because you are both things, flame and water. War and peace. You are the test. You are the last chance." Hook ending. As they left the Sahara vault, Jared's communicator lit up. A red alert. Something had happened. Back at Reykjavik, the Firechild was gone. And on the moon, satellites picked up movement. A new structure was rising, not from Earth, not from Echo, but something else. Jared looked at Sojin. "It's starting." The world turned its eyes to the moon. At first, it was just a strange signal, quiet, deep, repeating every 6 minutes. But then, something began to move on the lunar surface. Something built itself, piece by piece. It wasn't human. It wasn't Echo. It was something else. And it had woken up. The lunar anomaly NASA and international space agencies released photos. Near the dark side of the moon, A giant black structure had risen circular, metallic, and glowing red lines across. Its surface dotted looked ancient and angry. Scientists called it the Moon Forge, but to the team who found the fire vaults, it was something else. It's a gate, said Sojin. Or a weapon. May scanned it from orbit. No, it's a signal. Booster, it's waking up others. The voice from the Mona new transmission was received. It didn't come from Earth or any known satellite. It came from the Moon Forge. A low, echoing voice, like thunder through metal. Echo failed. You opened the vaults. The flame is yours. Now the test begins. Jared listened quietly. The echo erased our cities, he said. But the ones before the echo, they left instructions. So Jin added, they left tools, lessons, maybe even weapons. Theo leaned forward, and now they want to know what we'll do with them. Project Starwake. UN created a new mission. Project Starwake. Goal. Send a manned team to the Moonforge. Study it. Stop it if needed. Only 5 were allowed to go. Commander Jared Haley, Dr. Sojin Theo Grant, a new moon exosuit pilot named Kira Lin, and the Firechild, who had reappeared in silence and simply whispered, "You'll need me there." The moon landing, their ship landed near the forge. It stood 400 meters tall, black metal, pulsing red veins like blood. The air was silent, but the ground hummed under their boots. As they approached, the Firechild reached out and touched the forge. A door opened. Inside. It was not dead. It was breathing. The memory room inside the Moon Forge was a circular chamber, walls made of shifting light. Jared touched a panel and it showed him Earth thousands of years ago. Not modern Earth, but ruled Earth. Giant fire. Beings teaching early humans. Flames shaping rivers. Cities powered by star cores. But then the echo arrived. And the burning stopped. A war broke out in the stars. Echo wiped every trace of the fire race. Except Earth. Why Earth was Sparezzo, Jin whispered. We weren't left behind, we were hidden. Theo added, Earth was a storage device. We're not just humans, we're part archive, part memory. Kira pointed at a growing light above them. And now the system is restoring everything. The Forge spoke again. You are the last children of flame. If you survive the trials, the sky is yours. The 3 trials, a new message appeared this. Time in English. The fire race had left behind 3 trials of worth. The trial of memory, face what was forgotten. The trial of fire, survive the tools of power. The trial of future, decide what kind of species you will become. Only those who pass all 3 will unlock the Star Key, a device that can reshape reality, rebuild destroyed worlds, and awaken ancient star systems. But if failed, all traces of flame would be deleted forever. The first trial begins. The chamber filled with light. Each member was pulled into a different simulation. Jared stood in a ruined version of Earth, alone. Fires burned cities. The sky was black. He heard voices. This is what will happen if you choose power without wisdom. He had to find 5 survivors and bring them to safety, each representing a part of human weakness. Fear, anger, greed, pride, and sorrow. Only after helping them could he exit. He barely made it. So Jin was shown the full history of the fire race. They were not evil, but they were not gentle. They believed in trial through destruction. If something broke, it didn't deserve to survive. Only the strong, the clever, or the united earned the flame. So Jin whispered, they were teachers, through terror. Theo's test was logic. He was shown thousands of alien languages and had to find the common code behind them. When he solved it, a voice said, you speak the language of builders. You may speak to the core. Kira faced the trial of fire. She entered a room filled with ancient weapons. Each could destroy a planet. A voice said, will you use them or leave them? She chose to shut them all down. The room faded. She passed the child's role. The fire child stood in silence through all this. He needed no trial. He was the test, because he was the last living link to the fire race, a mix of memory, flame, and human emotion. And as he walked into the center of the moon forge, it reacted. The forge began to change. Back on Earth, people around the world started to feel strange energy waves. Some dreamed of fire cities. Others saw stars they had never learned about. In Iceland, the second circle opened. In Africa, the sand glowed. And in the Pacific Ocean, something huge moved under the water. The fire wasn't local anymore. It was global. The warning back in the forge. The team saw one final message, not from the fire race, but from the echo. You are touching what we locked away. The fire burns everything. Choose carefully, Earth, or you will become like us, keepers of graves. The final room, a massive door opened. Inside it, a glowing sphere. The star key. It pulsed with raw power energy, equal to a small galaxy. Whoever held it could awaken worlds or erase them. Jared reached for it, but before he touched it, the child stopped him. You must vote. The vote, each member had to speak. Jared, we use it but wisely. Rebuild, not conquer. Sojin, learn, not control. Share it. Theo, use it to protect, not rule. Kira, if power must be used, let it come with cost. The child, let them burn. Let them rise. Hook ending, they placed their hands on the star key together. A wave of light shot across the moon, through space, toward Earth. All over the planet, fire glyphs appeared in the sky. Then a new shape formed in orbit, a ring like a portal spinning. Glowing, alive. From it came a sound. Not human, not echo, something new. The forge spoke. The future opens. The moon forge had awakened. The star key had been touched. And now they were coming, not the echo, not the fire race. Others. Drawn by the signal, hungry for the power it promised. And Earth was not ready. The ring in the sky high above Earth. The newly formed ring spun slowly. It looked peaceful at first, just glowing light across the sky. But then it shifted. Lines appeared. Symbols moved like liquid. And through its center, the stars bent. Telescopes captured it. A hole in space, a door, and something was standing on the other side. The incoming fleet within hours. Deep space sensors picked up movement. A fleet, dozens of ships. Shapes like spears. And claws, unknown design. Not echo, not human. So Jin stared at the data. They responded to the signal. They're not coming to talk. They're coming to take. Who are they? The star key began to react again. It displayed a symbol no one had seen before. The spiral flame. Theo accessed the Moonforge's memory database. He found it. There. Called the Verex. A scavenger species, not creators. They move from star to star, absorbing tech, absorbing life. The echo had fought them once and barely won. So Jin's voice was cold. And now they're coming here. Earth's first decision. The world's leaders met. Some wanted to shut the forge down, bury the key, stop the signal. Others said, too late. They're already here. Now we fight. Jared said, the fire race left us a weapon. But they also left a choice. If we use the key out of fear, we become what the echo feared. If we do nothing, we burn. They had one option left. Prepare for contact. The Firechild's warning, in orbit. The Firechild stood at the edge of the forge platform. He looked up at the stars and whispered, you shouldn't have touched the key, but now that you have, finish what was started. Jared asked, what does that mean? The child turned. You must use the key to light the star beacon. It's the only thing that keeps the Verex from feeding. But it will cost something. What? A city. A memory. A piece of what you were. The star beacon inside the moon forge. The key began to form a map. It showed a forgotten structure on Earth, hidden under Antarctica. Older than any human city. It pulsed red. That's where the star beacon lay, buried, silent. And only the star key could wake it. Journey to Antarctica. Jared's team, along with UN Command, launched a mission to the ice. They reached the beacon site. An impossible machine, half buried in the ice, shaped like a massive crystal tower. Inside were walls of light, moving gears, and a circular altar that matched the key exactly, but it wouldn't activate. The Firechild whispered, "It needs sacrifice." The cost. The Moonforge's system spoke. To light the beacon, one human memory must be erased. A city, a name, a piece of history, gone forever, so the light may burn. Earth had a choice, what to lose. Debate filled every screen. Some suggested a lost village, a ghost town, but the Forge rejected those. It must be real, alive, beloved. So Jin cried, "We're being forced to do what the Echo once did." Theo, no, the Echo erased to control. We erase to survive. The chosen city. After painful debate, the vote passed. One city, chosen not for punishment, but because it was ready. Tokyo. Its people were warned. Evacuation began in silence, no chaos. Just tears. Jared stood before the star beacon and said, "Forgive." US, the key turned. The sky turned red. And Tokyo vanished. The light burns in its place. A column of pure white fire shot into the sky, reaching space. The star beacon was lit. Every screen on Earth glowed. The ring above the planet pulsed, and the incoming Varek ships stopped. They circled, watched, waited. Not attacking, not moving. Just waiting. The message. The Varek sent a transmission, a low sound, then translated words. Flame accepted. Trial in progress. The next test begins soon. So Jin's hands trembled. They aren't enemies, not fully. They're part of the fire race's test. Theo added, they destroy those who aren't ready. But if we pass, we join them. Earth rebuilt? With the beacon lit, Earth changed. Energy networks activated. Gravity fields in cities improved. Floating platforms appeared over oceans. Hidden data cores unlocked new knowledge. Earth was becoming a fire-linked world, faster, stronger, but more visible. Other species would now see Earth, and some wouldn't be friendly. Hook. Ending. Jared looked out from the Moonforge. The ring in orbit shifted from its edge. A second portal began to form. Something larger, something older. The star key in his hand pulsed. Then spoke. One trial remains. The final flame must fall, and you must choose your destroyer, he whispered. Destroyer? The Firechild appeared beside him and said, the last part of the test is to face yourselves. The star key had been activated, the beacon had burned, and Earth had passed the second trial, but the final test was not about power, not about alien fleets, not even about survival. It was about truth, and it had already begun. The third gate opens. The ring in space turned red. A second portal appeared beside it, wider, darker, spinning slowly. From inside, a massive shape drifted through. It wasn't a ship. It was a mirror, a perfect black sphere, floating toward Earth, reflecting everything, but with one difference. In the reflection, Earth was burning. The message. The star key glowed. A final message appeared. Trial of flame. You must face your own version of destruction. You must decide what kind of species you are. The key will open one door. The mirror will open another. Only one path leads forward. The other ends everything. Jared stared at the sky. We're being asked to choose, rebuild, or reset. The mirror world, the black sphere, pulled Earth's team into a simulation. A world where the worst of humanity ruled. Greed ran everything. Forests gone, cities poisoned. Machines ruled minds. And above it all, a second forge, twisted, cruel, glowing with stolen fire. This was Earth's possible future. If the flame was misused, so Jin wept. This is what happens if we lead with fear. The final council back in the Moon Forge, Earth's leaders gathered. Jared, Sojin, Theo, Kira, the Firechild, and 100 others from around the globe. The Forge gave them one final question. Do you choose the path of control or the path of release? If they chose control, Earth would become a fire race, world, powerful, protected, but bound to the flame system. If they chose release, the key would vanish. The forge would shut, but Earth would evolve naturally, in peace. The split vote, the room divided. Some said, we need protection, power, the universe is dangerous. Others said, no, that's how the echo started. That's how fire became war. Jared stood up. We have one last vote. But before we choose, the child must speak. The Firechild's truth. The child looked older now, almost human. He said, I was born in flame. I was shaped by sorrow. I saw my kind burn themselves into silence. You humans are not ready for power without pain, but you are also not ready to forget. He walked to the key. I can take the weight. Let me make the choice. So Jin whispered, what will you choose? The child smiled, both. The starfire burst. The Firechild touched the key and the mirror at once. The forge exploded in light. The ring in space cracked. And for one moment, Earth split. Two versions. One that kept the key, one that let it go, and both survived. Back on Earth, the Moon Forge went quiet. The key turned to dust. The ring vanished, but Earth remained, changed forever. Clean energy flowed from restored vaults. Communication with peaceful alien species began. The Varex fleet left. In silence. No one attacked. No one ruled. Earth had passed. Jared's last log. Jared recorded the last mission log. We stood on the edge of becoming something terrible, or something beautiful. And somehow we became both. The forge tested us, but it was never about machines or stars. It was about our soul. The fire sleeps, some say. The Firechild still walks among the stars. Some say he became a flame in the sky. But one thing was certain. The flame had not died. It had only changed form. And it now lived in every choice humanity would make. Final scene. Hook for future. Years later, a girl stood in a city rebuilt where Tokyo once stood. She looked at the night sky. And saw a spark. A small, red circle blinking far above the moon. She turned to her grandfather and asked, is it starting again? He smiled. No, child. This time, we start it. The end.